Hey guys, Broken Prophet here at Hoodoo Central on this glorious Sunday morning. It is 11:50, just turned 11:56 here. Good morning, happy Sunday to you guys. Just got back in the house from a wonderful church service I attended this morning. I mean, it was great. It was spiritually uplifting, and I left there feeling recharged. And it was on the way back from that church service I decided to do this video. This one is very off the cuff like the last one. Someone did text me last night and asked if I would talk about spiritually building confidence when starting a new business. So I'm going to do that. But I was also led to speak to you guys about something else. And so I decided, you know what, no time like the present. And so I'm going to do it this morning. Like I said, it's 11:56. And by the time I'm done with this video, look, this is how spirit works. By the time it's done with this video, they'll be selling beer again, because y'all know I'm down here in Georgia. Georgia's the Bible Belt. You know, on Sunday they don't start selling beer until, after 12 p.m. And so I'm like, hey, by the time I'm done with this video, the store will be open and we'll be ready to go. And look at God. Won't he do it? So I'm just messing with y'all. No, but it's true. They really only start selling beer on Sunday till after 12 p.m. I was visiting somebody out in California, and they sell it around the clock out there. I was like, what? And then they sell it in places that they don't sell it here, like at CVS. Y'all down here in the South, at CVS stores, you could maybe get a couple of bottles of wine, maybe a beer. That's it. But I was out in California, and I saw like Crown, Hennessy, all like in the CVS, and I was like, oh my gosh, could it be? you know, so it was definitely a culture shock. I definitely got to go out there again one day. But anyway, guys, starting this video because again, I don't want it to be too long. We are going to talk about the other half of the equation. I know I talked about love work and cuffing season on last video, but this one I want to talk about the other half of the equation, and that is clearing out the spiritual and emotional baggage that you have inside of you that is going to slow down or block the person from coming back, or keep running them back off, or running the new person that you're attracting away from you. Okay, now I know there's some knee-jerk reactions out there talking about baggage, but let's be honest, guys, we've all got baggage. Hell, I know I do. I tell women that deal with me, in the beginning, look, I am a handful. Okay, but I'm a work in progress, as we all should be. Okay, but we've all got this baggage, so we're going to do a practical exercise on how to clear that spiritual gunk and funk and stuff that's holding you back from either having a healthy relationship or progressing in a relationship. Cut it away. All right, so we'll do a practical on that because y'all like when I do things that are hands-on. And also, before we do that, I want to address something. A few of you have been emailing me and contacting me about doing some love work for you, and I'll be happy to do it if it is actually love work. Okay, if it's actually love work, because a lot of times what we think is love work, love spiritual work, is actually not. It's more about the ego and pride than it is about love. See, I don't know what it's like when you get, you're about to get fired from a job and your boss is in your face and you're like, you know what? You can't fire me. I quit. Okay? See, that's your attempt at leaving on your own terms instead of being pushed out. And the same thing happens in a situation where you want this person to return, whether you'll admit it to yourself or not. It's about your pride and it's about your ego. A lot of people want the other person to come back because they were so hurt that they want the other person back so that they get an opportunity to hurt them the way that they were hurt. See, a lot of what people label love work is not about love, it's controlling work. Okay? But if it is about love and it's about you sincerely want this person back in your life, well, then I'll do that for you. I'll bring them on home. Now, I will only work 4, maybe 5 love cases at a time. Okay, because it's not harder than any other spiritual work, but it is more intensive, and there's only one of me, and if I work more than 4 or 5 at a time, then somebody's getting slighted. And I'm not about to do that with y'all. All right. So if you do want to contact me, my information will be down in the information section of this video. So let's talk about clearing away some of these baggages, well, some of this baggage that we all have. And one thing that I like to do is called a cut and clear. I've talked about this in other videos, like on other platforms, but I want to make sure that I do it here on YouTube. Okay. Now, what is a cut and clear? Basically, what you're doing, you're cutting the spiritual bonds that have you either to a person or situation. And how do you know when you have this spiritual bond? Well, you know it. We're talking about love work, and we're talking about relationships, because this is cuffing season. All right, it's just beginning. It's about to get cold, and everybody wants to snuggle up. But what about the last one that you were with? You know when a bond is built with the person, because you can feel it on almost a physical level. Let's say, the person goes on a business trip and they're flying across country. You can almost feel that distance. Okay, that spiritual bond is a part of you that tugs right here when it's time for you and this person to part ways. You feel it. It's that part of you that makes your eyes well up when it's time for y'all to leave one another, almost, if you're sensitive like that. Or it's that part that makes them constantly drift into your mind. Your stomach could be growling. Y'all might have just heard mine growl. Just then, I haven't had breakfast yet. Your stomach could be growling. The bills could be due, but you're wondering what this person is doing. And are they okay? That's that spiritual bond. And even though the relationship might separate the two of you, that spiritual bond is still there. And that's what you have to sever if you are going to move on. And it may not be something that you want to do, but it's time to be adults, y'all. We got to put on our big boy and big girl draws and say, you know what, this is something that I have to do for me. So you have to cut that bond. Okay. Now, the cutting and clearing is that. It is severing that bond. And then you're clearing out that person's energy. Because when you're in a relationship with someone, their energy is all around you. Think about it. Sometimes y'all finish each other's sentences. You can tell when that person's lying because part of them is in you, part of you is in them. And, I always say it's someone getting into your system, almost like a virus. So you have to clear that stuff out. You got to clear it away. So that's what a cut and clear is. Now, for a cut and clear, you're actually going to use a sharp implement. Y'all know I'm a country boy, so I always have a knife on me. So you're going to actually use a sharp implement. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be a knife. It could be a knife. Hell, a lot of people will do it with scissors. You can use a samurai sword, karate chop with your hand. I don't care. Okay? Just as long as it's something that to you will symbolize having the ability to cut a cord. Now, normally I will bless whatever I'm doing ahead of time. This being my pocket knife, it's always, prayed over. But one thing you can do, you can have some holy water and sprinkle that onto the blade. If you don't have holy water, you can use Florida water. If you don't have Florida water, you can take some salt and pray the 23rd Psalm over it. This is my imaginary pantomimed bowl right here. You pour the salt in the bowl and you pray the 23rd Psalm over it, letting your breath hit it. That's how you bless the salt. Just as God breathed the breath of life in all of us, you are letting your breath hit the salt as you pray the 23rd Psalm, and you are making it blessed salt. And then you either stir it, the blade of whatever you're using, in the blessed salt, or you take some of the grains of salt and you sprinkle it over the blade. Okay? Once you have that blessed, okay, then you will pray over the blade, and you're also praying to open up the channels for what you're about to do. One thing that I use for the cut and clear is 1 John 4:18. 1 John 4, yes. And 1 John chapter 4 verse 18 says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love." Now that's good for all manner of cut and clear, whether it's a person or it's a situation. It works if it's a person because it speaks about the perfectness of love. And if you're cutting a situation out of your life, then evidently that situation was not perfect. I know no relationship is perfect, but there is a such thing as perfect for you. And that situation was not perfect for you if it was a relationship, and that's why you're cutting. If it was not a relationship reason that you need to cut, because sometimes we have to cut the cord from other situations. It could be a job that all your friends worked at, but it doesn't pay as much as your current job, so you want to like stop thinking about running back there to be with your friends and stuff like that. So you cut away from that situation. And that verse speaks about that situation because it talks about casting out fear. See, y'all, there are really only two, and I'm preaching a little bit this morning. There are really only two legitimate emotions, y'all: love and fear. That's it. Everything else is a shade of gray. It's a human mental construct. The Creator only created love and fear. That's it. Anything else, like I said, is a shade of gray in between the two. Fear keeps us alive. The fear of the rattlesnake, the fear of the grizzly bear, the fear of getting to work late too many times and getting fired. Okay? Fear keeps you alive. But love makes life worth living. All right? So it speaks about casting away fear. Fear in the form of doubt, fear in the form of frustration, fear in the form of lack of success. So that's why that verse will work for that. And what you will do after you have blessed your implement and after you've prayed over it, you will proceed to cut around your body. You will cut around your head. Be very careful. I don't want any of y'all trying to sue me talking about you cut your damn ear off. Be very careful, but you will cut around your head and you will focus on severing that tie that has you thinking about that person so much. You will cut around your heart and around your chest because you want to cut away that cord between you and them that causes that ache now that the two of you are separated. You'll cut around your groin because sometimes it's the sex that draws you to that person. But it's not just the physical act, it's that feeling of intimacy that you have, that feeling of connection with that person. Okay? So you'll cut there, and you will cut down around your feet. And you're severing that bond also. Because not only do you sometimes want to run back to that other person, but it's that other person's, hold on you that keeps you from moving forward. Okay? So you want to make sure and cut that. And y'all know I don't give y'all any work that I don't do, myself. So, I'm also cutting something away from me as I'm teaching you this. All right? And after you're done with that, you will take your implement as soon as you're able, which for me will be after this video, and you will take it outside and you'll drive it blade down into the ground. If it's scissors and you were just snipping, you will take those scissors and drive them forcefully down into the ground. Okay? Why are you doing it forcefully? Because you know what? If you're cutting something away from you, it is something you no longer needed. It was someone that you no longer needed. All right? And that signals your intent. That signals that, I'm done. I'm through. As a matter of fact, let me back up. When y'all were cutting around, I hope you were thinking, I don't need you anymore. I don't want you anymore. You know what? No, back that up. I may want you, but I don't need you anymore. You are not helping me to heal. You're not helping me to grow. You're not helping me to progress. You're not helping me to evolve. I need you gone. I need you out of my life. Fuck you, double fuck you, triple fuck you, and fuck everything about you and everybody that look like you. God willing. But, seriously, you want that emotion. Sever that cord forcefully. Okay? Let it be gone. Let it be through. And then that's the cutting part. The clearing, now that the bond has been broken spiritually, is tied around this blade. So you clear that energy away from you by taking it outside and driving it into the ground. All right? there's the practical exercise. I'm not going to put this back in my pocket because I have got to do that work myself. And there we go. And hopefully that'll help you guys to clear a lot of the emotional and spiritual baggage that we have when it comes to love or progressing from any other situation. Y'all, my mustache just like getting all in my nose. I got to trim my hair. Okay? So hopefully that helps somebody. And you know what I recommend? Before you guys consult with me about some love work, do that. And if you do that work and you sit and think on this person and weigh the pros and cons and you still want them back, then you contact me. All right? Then you contact me. So let's talk about the other thing that was brought to my attention, which is spiritually gaining confidence when starting a new business. And guys, y'all have my email, my text line information. Feel free to text me or leave a comment here. If you got any other video ideas, feel free to send them over just like this person did. Now, one thing I recommend about building confidence spiritually when starting a new business is to really clear your mental. Okay? Clear your mental. What do I mean by that? A lot of times, lack of confidence or self-doubt when embarking on something new has to do with, we're constantly being bombarded by like people and other people's opinions and things like that, and then our own doubt starts to creep in. So you got to clear that away. One way to do that, all right, is to have your head wrapped in white when you go to sleep, and as you're dozing off, really think about this new business venture. Okay, really think about it. Is this for me? Is this doubt stemming from me, or is it because of what other people are saying? Because let me tell you, people will try to keep you from starting new things because society has taught us that you will only be stable, you'll only be secure if you're punching a time clock. All right, but if you're starting a new business, a lot of times people will tell you, well, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this. And the people that tell you that are usually the ones that are the closest to you. Right? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You can go and tell a complete stranger, well, I think, I'm going to quit my job and, be a professional basketball maker. Not player. I just want to make the basketballs. You tell a complete stranger, they'll say, well, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, do that. Gosh darn it, guy, that's a good idea. But you tell your family, your friends, your loved ones, they're like, you got your motherfucking mind. They already got plenty of basketballs. So you got to push all that aside. And wrapping your head in white helps to clear your mind, helps to cool it down. Another thing you can do, help build confidence, is to bathe your head. We do it in Hoodoo. It's done in Palo, it's done in Centria. They call it either head feedings, head washings, head rogations, whatever. But you can bathe your head to cool down some of these doubts and frustrations. One thing, a bath that I like to do when my brain is going a mile a minute and it helps me and I can't really focus, is I'll make a bath out of rainwater, Florida water, and coconut milk. You mix that in a bowl and just pour it over your head. You don't have to take a whole bath with that. We're talking about just a head washing right now. And you just pour it over your head, like over the sink. And you just let it air dry. Then you wrap your head in white. And you'll feel like a calm come over you as you do that. You will feel a lot of that doubt and insecurity about this new situation fall away from you. And then you'll be able to approach it more clearly. Now, another thing that I like to do, because when I tell people about cleansings, especially when situations seem a little bit rocky, is that it is a two-part process. See, a lot of books and videos and things don't tell you that. It's a two-part process. Not only do you clear away the negative, but you have to influence the positive. Now, one way to do that, especially with a new business, is to find a business that's kind of in the same, same arena that you're trying to enter, and take a little bit of dirt from that. If it's successful, and if you're in retail, go to a Walmart. All they do is make money. If it's in finance, go to a bank. They deal in money there. Take a little bit of that dirt, just a pinch of it, all right? And sprinkle it either around where you work. If it's computer, sprinkle just a pinch, not a whole lot. You're not making mud pies here. Just a pinch around where you work. Or you put a pinch into your shoes, okay? What I like to do is take a pinch of that dirt and a pinch of dirt from a black anthill and just sprinkle a little bit into your shoes. That black anthill dirt is good for motivation. It's good, to keep you moving. Because a lot of times when we talk about gaining confidence, our confidence a lot of times is tied to our motivation. Because when we're motivating, we keep moving, we start seeing results. We start seeing ourselves gain footing. But when when our motivation starts to slack, we don't progress as quickly as we like, and then our confidence takes a hit. So use black ant hill dirt and some dirt from a successful business that you're trying to get into, and that'll help your personal confidence in that. Another thing that you can do, and we're still talking about that dirt, you can add some of it to your bath. Okay? Now, a lot of us, we're starting new business because we want money. We want to improve our financial situation. Some of us want status. Right? So you take a little bit of that dirt, you add it to your bath, and you're constantly just bombarding your spirit and your subconscious with that successful business. So as you think about it, as you plan, you're just starting to exude success. All right? So guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to send me those requests. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. God bless you. And it's beer time. I'll pick back up on this business vein in a little bit. Y'all have a good one.